Mommy's Kitchen. I'm Caitlin Grievel, and today we are going to be making a delicious, quick and easy bread recipe with a little bit of added dill weed. But before we start, you want to make sure that if you have long hair, it's tied back into a ponytail. You have no fingernail polish on. And if you're wearing loose clothing, such as this, you either cover it up with an apron or go change so it's not getting in the way. Also, you don't want any pets in the kitchen while you're cooking. And always wash your hands for at least 20 seconds before you start. So let's get rolling. Make sure you use plenty of soap, and it always helps to sing the happy birthday song twice. Give you an idea of how long it should be. Make sure you get under your fingernails, in between your fingers, and you dry it very well. Okay, now that we've got that taken care of, let's look at some of our ingredients. So we are going to need some fast rising yeast, some salt, some dill weed, which is optional by the way, I prefer it, and then some flour. For our materials, you will need an electric mixer, a metal bowl, a pretty good size, a nice medium size probably will work, and then some measuring spoons and measuring cups. For the measuring cups, you'll probably only need 1 cup and 1/4 a cup, because the most we're going to need in this recipe is 1 cup and 3/4. So we're going to mix all of our ingredients into this bowl and then use the electric mixer to mix them all together so there are no separations. So we are going to start with 2 1/4 teaspoons of fast rising yeast. So 1 teaspoon. So that's it. 1. 2. And then 1/4. And then you could use this, or of course you could always use the foil packets of fast rising yeast. So we'll do that. And then we are going to need 2 teaspoons of salt, preferably kosher, but really whatever works. And then you're probably going to want to do this over the sink, because you don't want any extra salt in this recipe and you don't want to spill it all over your counter. So 2 teaspoons. So there's 1. And there's 2. Can bring it back. And then after that, we are going to need 3 cups of flour. Oh, I was wrong. So the most you will actually need with these are 3 cups, but I'm gonna scoop as much as I can out with this, and then I'm gonna grab a spoon to even it out and get some more. So that's pretty good, but I'll probably add a little more. That doesn't look like it's quite enough. So there's 1 cup. Okay, so then there's 1 cup down, and we're going to need 3 of these. So there's that. And then another really good technique for doing this is overfill it a little bit, and then like so. You're gonna overfill a little, and then just sort of take a knife or a spatula and just scrape off the top. So you make sure you get the right amount. There. And then one more. So once again, that knife technique, just simply glide it over the top to get any extra. And try your best to do it over the bag. I know it's a little difficult, as you can tell, but this way you won't be wasting any flour. So there's 3 cups of flour. And then after that, you're going to need 1 3/4 cups of warm water, probably around 108 to 110 degrees. And if I could show you how much that was, I would, but obviously I can't really do that through this, so I guess just really ballpark it. Just do your best to figure out how much that is. So just feel the water a little bit, wait till it gets warm. Yes, probably about there. And there's 1 cup. So there we have 1 3/4 cups of warm water. So now what we're going to do is we are going to mix this. You could mix it just by hand or with just a wooden spoon would work too, but really whatever works. Okay. And then you want to remember, never plug in your electronics or your materials until you are ready to use them. And then you can put it down. And then remember, always start out slow. And then you can sort of gradually increase the speed. So now that we have added all of the main ingredients in, now we're going to add 1 tablespoon of the dill weed. And this is optional, of course. If you just want regular bread, that's completely fine, but I like the dill weed. It adds a little extra flavor. So, there. Okay. We're just going to drop that in and continue to mix that in for a little bit. See, it doesn't really need to go in for that long. We just need it to be enough to mix it. And now that we are finished mixing it, we are going to come, and we should unplug that because we are done with it. We don't need this anymore. And now, I'm going to take this off and scrape some of this because we don't want to miss out on the dough. I'm just going to mix it in there. So, there. That's good. And then, so now, this is what it will look like when you are finished. And so now we are going to cover it with some saran wrap or something, like this. And we will let it sit for about 45 minutes, and then to let it rise. And then we will come back and continue cooking. But during that time while it's rising, I suggest you clean up all your, because you won't need these anymore, these ingredients, so you can clean that all up. And then, so you can start out clean and start out fresh again. It's been about 30 minutes now, and while we're letting the dough rise, we are going to preheat the oven. And while it's preheating, you want to take a metal or glass bowl with a lid and put it in the oven to heat the lid up, or to heat the bowl up. And you want to preheat the oven to 450 degrees. But now that the oven has had a chance to preheat, we are going to take the bowl out, spray it with Pam, put the dough in, and then put it in to bake. And then remember to always use pot holders when doing this. And this is what it should look like. So now that we have, and you can use any size bowl really. I just like to use the round bowls because I like the shape of it when it comes out. So then we are going to cook it for 35 minutes with the cover on, and then we are going to come back and take the cover off and cook it for another 20 minutes. So we put the bread in the oven and baked it for 35 minutes covered, and then we took the lid off and cooked it for 20 more minutes uncovered. And the timer is just about to go off, and then we will take it out of the oven and see how it looks. Oh, that's nice. So there's the bread. And then get out a cooler milk, and it should just slide right out of the pan. And there we go. Okay, so we've let this cool for about 20 minutes, and so this is what the inside of your bread should look like. And believe me, there is nothing as good as the smell or taste as fresh homemade baked bread.